Can you hear me? One sec here. I know you can hear me, but you can't see me, so that's not very helpful. Oh my. It's been a while since I streamed on this channel, so let me just fix this up here. One second. It's not recognizing my camera. Hold on one second. Can we hear me? We can hear me. I'm still snacking. Can everybody hear me? I need water. Can everybody hear me? Okay, we can hear me. Hi, Mom. Hi, Holly. Hi, Sylvia and Jan. Sorry, I needed a snack. So, is there any questions about any of the products before we start? I have myself on my phone so I can see the chat. My tablet's not working for some reason with Twitch. And there's about a 10 to 15 second delay. So as I'm making the cards, I'll look at your questions and everything. Or the card, I should say. So I might not get to it. Yeah, the microphone is right here. There we go. Let's see if I could turn this up some more. That should be better. Yeah, so there's about a 10 to 15 second delay in my response time to anything on the chat. That's about as loud as I can go. So if you have a question and I didn't get to it right away, chances are I have, but it's just taking like 10 to 15 seconds for me to answer. So for those of you who are wondering what the pastels are, let me grab that. Those are, so these are the pastels, and these are from Stampin' Up. Now, some of the people who've been with Stampin' Up for a long time might have a big square, almost looks like a makeup compact or eyeshadow compact, that had chalk pastels in them. You can use that too if you don't have these. There's going to be certain parts where, because I didn't think of it, but Sylvia made me think of it. She asked me a question like, what can I use instead? So when we get to those parts, I'll tell you how to use your inks instead of pastels for this time. But this is what they look like. They're like a chalk. I wonder if you could use chalk. Like if you had chalk at home, you know, like sidewalk chalk or whatever, you might be able to use that. I personally can't use chalk because they're usually made with latex and I'm allergic to latex. Anyways, So, yeah, pastels. Got it. Check. So that's what we're going to be using for this card. The part right here, the sentiment, that part there I'll be doing like a clear emboss with the soft pastels. Now, you could either just stamp the sentiment in an ink, or you could heat emboss it. So if you want to do it like in a blue or a gold or whatever embossing you have on hand, you could just do that. But yeah, this is the part where you're going to need a paintbrush for the pastels. And then this, the lantern, this here is actually done with the blender pen and pastels. So if you don't have the pastels, this is the part where you can use ink instead, like either your little ink spots or the big inks, and just dip your blender pen in there, okay? If you don't have blending brushes, you could use sponges or daubers. That's fine. I've made the complete switch over to brushes. I'm liking them. They're easier to clean, easier to use, and I've always liked sponging. But I'm just enjoying the brushes a lot more. So, if there's no questions... Oh, and I guess I didn't put up the measurement for this white piece. It's just a little bit smaller than the black. I have it in my book. I'll hand it out when we're, making the card. So if we're all set, we're probably going to start up. If no one has any questions before we start, that is. So no questions? We're good? Okay. I'm going to hop over to my table, set up my microphone. Just having problems with my tablet to chat. Well, Mom, if you have it up on your laptop, it's probably easier to chat on the laptop anyways. So I'm going to pop over to my desk. I'm just going to put this on the Be Right Back screen for a second because I got to move the microphone around, all right? We'll see you guys in like a few seconds. Okay, we're all set here. Yeah, watching the chat on my phone is much easier. I have my phone here with the chat because see how much of a delay there is? There's quite a bit. I think it's about 10, maybe 15 to 20 seconds. Anyways, usually I'd have to look at my chat over there. But we're not doing that today. I'm going to have it right here. Also, if there isn't enough light here, let me know and I'll throw out my other light. It's just when I have the two going, it's super hot. I mean, like really hot. Okay. So let's get our first few things ready. When I'm about to make a card, I get everything ready in one of my cases. Just gonna put that there.
See, and mine keeps like reloading, buffering. So I'm hoping that doesn't affect the chat. Just trying to figure out. Let me just check my internet on this real quick before we get started, because I don't want to miss anyone's questions. Oh my God, where's my settings? One sec here. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. I have a booster, and I'm just trying to connect to that. Yeah, if yours is buffering like that, try and connect your computer directly to a like a wire, the Ethernet cord, the hard wire. Oh, I know what happened. We had like a power outage one time. I think it reset my my extender. Okay, let's not play around with that. I'll just have to kind of wing it for the chat here. Okay. So let's get started. So first, this is reconnecting to chat. Man, there we go. So here we have our gorgeous grape. This is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Hi, Willow. Remember, let me know if you find this too dark. Next time I'll use the light. So yeah, 5.5 by 8.5, and this is scored at 4 1/4. Okay, I'll put that aside. Our black. So, why didn't I do measurements for the white? Our black is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then, as you can see, I just trimmed off a little bit of the white. This doesn't even look like it's 4 3/4. I'm going to say it's 4 7/8 by... Not 4 7/8. Wow. 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. We'll say. Just enough to show some black on the sides. Okay. That's for the white. Then I have my scrap pieces of black here. The scrap pieces of black, the scrap piece is for this guy here. But this square here, we're going to cut out of this black. And then I have scrap whites for the lantern. Okay. Let me know if everyone's following so far. Okay, so first things first. The stamp set we're using is the Campology one, and let me just grab that. That would be this guy. We're going to start with the trees for our background. And we're going to be using that with Memento Black. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a block. You know what I did forget to do? I forgot to wet my my chamois. I'm just gonna go wet my chamois and I'll be right back. One sec here. There we go. Okay, let's get back at it. So, this is the background piece of white. Let me know if everyone has their background piece of white cut out. And can we still hear me? Oh, I got my paper white. We're just gonna flip that. Pretend it's not there. Okay. Everybody's got their white. I can't believe I forgot the measurements for the white. That's crazy. Okay, and so for this tree, I'm just going to do this. And we're going to stamp this. Well, I'm going to stamp it twice because I want it to cover most of everything. And I'm going to go about here. Very pretty. I'm going to do the same thing again. I just noticed the chat is not popping up right here. I'm just going to move that chat window away because it's not working. Ooh, I just shook the whole table. I'm sorry. You know what? Whatever. I can't even take it away. Okay, then. Ignore the chat window that's not working. So there was some issues with Twitch not too long ago, and I think it messed up a few things, so I'll have to revamp this channel. Okay, so we're going to stamp a second time. And this time, to make it look like, you know, it's a forest with depth, I'm going to go a little bit lower. Just stamp about here. Now, if you don't have this stamp set at all, you could use any trees and, you know, just kind of stagger them when you're stamping so that you get like a forest look with like a little bit of a hollow here. You don't even need a hollow. You just want kind of like a tree scenery going on. So we're going to clean this guy. Yeah, I should probably just take Twitch off my phone. It's not even working. Okay, there we go. Okay. Next thing's next. The reason why we're doing the background first is because there's going to be enough ink on it where we want it to set and dry. So this is the point where you kind of want some scrap paper just to be able to color on. Let me know if you're all up at this point. To this point. So the next colors we're going to be using for this is, for our background, we're going to be using the Gorgeous Grape, which matches the cardstock, the Melon Mambo, and Mango Medley. So basically a purple, a pink, and a yellow if you got it. But these are the 3 colors I'm using. You're not at this point yet? Okay, I'll wait for you and I'll just set up these inks here. You just let me know when you're ready. How do you make your stamps stick to the big block? Like this big block? I don't have the stickers on this side. I just... Is that what you mean? I don't put the sticker on the back, you just place it there? Oh, you mean like it's all gunky? I use Dawn. I wash my stuff in Dawn and it takes all the gunk out off the block. If the block is still sticky after that, I use alcohol on the block, but I don't use alcohol on the stamps. And yeah, Sylvia, just let me know when you and Jan are ready. So this is my collection of Stampin' Blend brushes. And for these guys here, I'll show you what I do. I'm not using a blue right now, but I'm just grabbing the blues because I saw them first. I have a light blue one and a dark blue. I'm not going to have a brush for every color because that's madness. So, I keep one brush for my light blues, one brush for my dark blues. And then, you know, I just do my light blues with this one, dark blues with this one. And when I'm done for the day, I just rinse them under water. Sometimes with a bit of Dawn, sometimes just warm water. And then I use a, what do you call it? Just this microfiber cloth. And I rub them on the microfiber cloth till they're dry and I get the excess ink out of it. And then I just set them aside to dry. And they're still good. See? So, today what we're going to be using though is, so we need a dark pink. So I got dark red here. We do need our dark purple. I need my dark pink. And I need my, nope, not dark orange. I have a light yellow. Dark yellow. I'll put those aside. And I'll be starting with the lightest color first and working my way up. Yellow will be at the bottom. I'm going to do the pink in the middle and then the purple. And then I might go over again a few times just to blend everything nice. How's it going over there, Sylvia? Really is dark, huh? Let's see if I can... I'm Just gonna see if I can make that a little brighter. Forgot yellow. One sec. This should be better. Going good. We'll be done the tree shortly. Okay, perfect. I know some of you are doing multiple cards too, so I try and take my time. So, and as we blend the yellow into the pink and the pink into the purple, we're going to get that nice transition. So you have like a yellowish orange up into the pink and then the pink up into the purple. It's really nice. I am going to go ahead and start with the yellow. So again, if you don't have a Stampin' Blend brush, you could use daubers, sponges, you know, kind of what you have on hand to sponge with or to blend with. These are bristle brushes. They're not a pad, it's a bristle. It looks like a pad, but it's definitely a bristle. I know some people use makeup brushes. Stampin' Up! Came with their own version. Really enjoying them. Really easy to clean. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up. And you can be fairly rough with these. Doesn't hurt them. Get a nice ink. I'm going to start on the scrap page and work my way up. I'm going to go... Well, I got some yellow at the top. That's okay. Purple's darker. And again, just bringing it up. Not as messy as daubers or sponges. I don't get my hands as dirty. They still do get dirty, but not as bad. If you're crafting and you're expecting to not get dirty, you, my friend, are in the wrong hobby. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one as is right there. If I want to darken it up, I'll just come back to it. I'm going to set my brush here. I'm going to take my pink eye and we're going to dip into the Milo Mambo. Now, because this is an older stamp pad, I have to be a little bit more rough with it. Whoops, see? I just got it all over the freaking thing there. And get my fingers so I don't get that all over the place. See? Messy. And that's A-okay. Alright. Again, we're going to start on the side here and work our way in. If I were to just start right on the page itself, this smudge that I got there would be a big blob on the card. I don't want that. So as I drag my ink in, I get a nice even coating instead of that big blob that's on the scrap paper there. See the difference? You got this big blob and then you got smoothness. So, quite a bit of a difference there. And I'm going to drag this into the yellow a bit. Now the thing I don't want to do is I don't want to go over with my yellow until I know the pink's dry, because I don't want to make my yellow brush pink. So again, I'm satisfied with the pink for now. Now I'm going to work on the purple. To make my life easier, I'm going to turn it around and work my way up. Doing the same thing, starting on the scrap and work my way up. The funny thing is, you would think that purple would just go on more pigmented, more darker. And that's not always the case with darker colors. I find with blacks, blues, grays, anything really that's dark, it shows up like this. You're always able to see the white through the darkness more. It's not as pigmented as you would think. So the darker colors take a little bit more work. In this case, I don't want the purple totally saturated either. It gives it more of that sky look. You never look at the sky and it's just completely purple. There's a bit of white peeking through, a bit of the pink. Okay. Then, kind of looks like this. Now, if you're not satisfied, you can go back in with the pink. Bring it up a bit. And that'll darken that bottom of the purple a bit. And you can do the same thing with the yellow. And bring it up. And then you should have basically what looks like this. We're just going to give that a few seconds to dry before we start putting the white gel pen dots on it. Now, I'm going to let a few of you ladies catch up. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brushes under water. And I'll come back and show you what they look like once they're all rinsed. I'm going to leave this here so that you can see the progression in the colors. And I'll be right back after I rinse these. Won't take me long. There. So I rinsed off, I'm just going to push these aside a bit. I rinsed off these brushes. You can see they're still a little bit wet. Okay. And I'm just going to take my cloth here and just give it a good scrub. You know, if you were planning on using this color all week, I wouldn't even wash it, but I like rinsing them. They dry overnight. So that's the yellow one. And once it's dry, it'll have pigment in it. This one's a lighter one, but it'll be all nice and fluffy like this again. Okay, so just And I just put that back in the jar to stand up and dry. See, a little bit of the ink comes off, but all I did was I didn't even use soap. I just ran them under warm water. That's the pink one. And now I'm going to get the purple one all cleaned up. I just don't like having excess ink in the brush because I don't want it to get hard or anything. So that's why I clean them. And then this I just toss in the wash. I basically just keep rubbing until no more ink comes off. Alright. Those are nice and clean. I'm sure some of you are still sponging the background. Am I correct? Kira? Yeah, okay. I'm just going to leave this like this. I'm looking for my gel pen. I just have to find my gel pen. I don't think that's the right one. 1 second here. There we go. So I have several different white gel pens. If you don't have a white gel pen, you can use the white chalk pen. That'll work good too. So I have these ones here, the Jelly Roll ones, and then I have the Pentel one. It honestly depends on preference. Let's see here. So yeah, my Pentel one every once in a while gives me quite a hard time. See, it won't even come out. If anyone has any tricks for the white Pentel gel pen, you go ahead and let me know. But the Jelly Roll pens, I never seem to have a problem. I have them in two different sizes. I have them in the 08 and the 05 here. I think I got them in a pack. And I'm just gonna put these on kind of sporadic. And I just kept them more towards the purple because it makes sense that you would only really see them in the darkest part of the sky. So that's what I went with. Now, if your card is still really wet, these won't go on that easy. So just give it a few seconds. And sometimes what I like to do is I go back over these dots, the same dots, again a second time. I just let them dry a bit. So I'll go over a second time. And it just makes them pop out that much more. Cat hair. Okay. So, white gel pen. If you don't have white gel pen, you could try with the little chalk white pen. You know, even any other color. If you have silver or gold, that'll work too. Thank you. Is that Moss Witch? Moss Witch Crafting? The end goal is for everybody to end up with a card like this. Sorry, I have to squint my chat. My drawing tablet is all the way over there. It's a little further. Usually I have the chat going up on my phone or a tablet, but they're both not connecting to the internet. So I'm kind of squinting at my chat. So we'll be setting this guy aside to dry. So once everybody's got their inks laid down, let me know. And then I'll give you directions on the next step. So I'm probably just going to glue this. No, I'm not going to glue this to the black piece because I still got to cut out this guy. We're not going to waste any paper. Oops, I guess I could keep that in frame so you guys could see the colors. The lighting is really dark. You know what? I'm going to set up the second light while you ladies catch up. Just getting the second light set up here. Okay, is that brighter? Second light up. We focused. We're good. Yeah, that's a bit better, right? Mom, how are you doing with yours? You all set? Okay. So before we cut out the lantern, we're going to stamp it. If you don't have a lantern stamp, if you don't have the Campology stamp set, you could use, if you got a candle, anything else that puts off light. Doesn't matter if it's a lampe à poche, what is that, flashlight, anything like that. Okay, so anything that's giving a source of light. So I'm going to take my little dude here. We'll get a block for him. You got a raccoon? A raccoon? Well, he's campy, right? So if you don't have a source of light, you could do anything that's like campish. That's fine. Okay, so to get a nice crisp image, I'm still going to get my stamp pad. You know, if you don't have a stamp pad, anything that you can use that'll give you a little bit of give is good too. It's kind of like spongy, springy, you know? You know? So I'm going to just put this right here. We're going to get the Memento Black. I like using the Memento Black because it doesn't smear once it's dry with any kind of markers, especially alcohol. Okay, let's ink him up really good. And we are going to stamp just like this. Yeah, raccoon is campy. He's not so much putting off a light source, but he's campy. He's outdoorsy. There, that's the word I'm looking for, outdoorsy. Let's clean up our stamp. Just like that. Okay, and maybe you don't want a light source. Maybe you want an animal in your card. Okay, so we're gonna cut this out with the Big Shot, and I am going to use the rectangle, the stitched rectangle. I'm just looking for them. I'm having a moment here. They were right here. Oh my Lord, Becky. Where did I put those? Oh, they're right here. The rectangled stitched framelits, okay? So, these are the two sizes I'm using. I'm going to pull them out and I'll show you. Woo! So this is going to be for the black, and that is for the lantern itself. So they're basically, they're not the smallest in the set. They're the second and third smallest, okay? So second and third smallest in the Stitch Rectangle set. Got it? You got it. That's for the lantern. If you got a raccoon or something else going on, you're on your own figuring out the sizes there. But I'm sure you got it. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my Big Shot. Let's get some stuff out of the way here so that I have some room. I need some room. I'm going to put this over here. Talking to myself. That's the only thing about not having live, like, in-person class anymore. I'm talking to myself a lot, feeling like a crazy person. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm just going to put these guys... Hang on. I'm just going to put my gel pens with my art stuff. Ow! Or not, I'm just throwing them everywhere. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, so let's move some of these scraps out of the way. Let's put our stamps away so they're out of the way. Alright, skis. Let's get our Big Shot here. So the piece of black that's going to be at the back here, we're not going to see the hole we're going to make in it, so don't worry about that. We're going to cut out the black from this guy, and we're going to cut this out from this. You get me? You get me. We're good. Okay, let's get that Big Shot. You're figuring what to do there? Okay, so let me bring my camera up a bit here. So you can see my mess that I got going on. So for my ladies that have been, you know, have been crafting with me for many years. I've been doing this for 12 years now as of this month. I always did this in person. So for the people that have been with me a long time and you have a big shot, I'm using my magnetic platform with my first sheet down, okay? On top of that, got my lantern in the second smallest rectangle. Making my sandwich. I'm gonna roll her through without punching stuff. Now, the Big Shot is no longer available through Stampin' Up, but we have similar machines. We have a smaller one and a medium-sized one. So there's those. Show Mom how to draw a candle quick. There is no quick. Mom's got a raccoon. I like going over this a few times. There we go. Mom, if you really want me to show you how to draw a candle, I will. Here we go. So he's cut out, and the edges are perforated. Okay. So we got him. And now, Bluebin. You're good? Okay, cool. Now we're going to take the third size. We're going to take our black cardstock and we're going to go in the middle here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go through a few times. Gonna hear some snapping and popping. That's fine. See? It's cool. Cool cucumbers. One more time. Oh yeah. And then here we go. Got the black one, and this got perforated edges too. When we're done with coloring in our lantern, it's going to get stuck to this, okay? I'm going to put this aside and put away my Big Shot and the Thinlits. If anyone has any questions while I'm putting stuff away, go ahead, throw them up in chat. Now, remember, with the magnetic platform, keep it away from phones, computers, tablets, stuff like that, okay? This will damage electronics. The magnet is that strong in there. On a side note, if you're someone with a pacemaker, same rule applies for that magnetic platform, okay? Let's bring this back down. Just want to make sure that this is straight. Okay. How we doing? We good? We cool cucumbers? Where are we at so far? Everybody got their stars on their background? You're good? Okay. So next thing's next. On this piece of black, we're going to be gluing our background. So I'm just going to go along the edges because there's a big missing spot there. So I'm just going to go with my two-way snail here. Along the edges. And I'm going to center this in the black. Like so. And then I'll be doing the same thing, but I'll be gluing it to my card base, okay? I'm going to center this. Voila. So far, so good. We're getting there. Where did I put this guy? Okay. We're going to start with this guy. And some blender pens. If you don't have blender pens, I think the aqua painters might work. If you don't have any of these, you can color these in with markers or ink. Also, these are the wrong blender pens. One sec here. Where did I put them? Right here, my new ones. If you don't have the Stampin' Up! Blender pens or any blender pens at all, like I said, you can color this in with markers. Any markers. If you don't have markers, you can color it in with pencils, watercolors. If you have the blender pens but don't have the pastels, you can dip into your inks. Any ink, some watercolor crayons or watercolors. You can use watercolors with blender pens too. So I'm going to pull out my pastels here. So it's basically like a chalk. Okay. I need to drink water. One sec. Mouth is getting dry. And I'm going to start with the red. So blender pens have a liquid in them that allows them to pick up color, any color, from different materials. Haven't tried it with paint, but pretty much almost anything. And allows you to paint with that color or brush that color on. And all you need is a piece of scrap paper, and you'll brush the color off when you want to switch colors, which I'll show you. For now, we're going to go ahead and start. And this doesn't hurt your pastels or anything. So I'm going to dip into the red one here. Just rolling it around at the tip of the pastel. And I'm going to start my coloring. For those of you that don't know, Babalu is my mom, and Holly is my mod, but she's also my sister. That's why they're bickering in chat. Because they can. Sometimes you could brush it on. Sometimes I find it's better to tap, depending on the color and depending on how much surface you're trying to cover. Just going to continue dipping into the pastel off and on. if you've worked with watercolors before, it's pretty similar to that. Your raccoon is done? You already colored him? And remember, for those following along making a card, go ahead and, post it in the group on Facebook. We all want to see each other's cards. We want to see what everybody did. Especially, if you're using something different, we want to see how it turned out. If you're using different colors. I keep dipping in just because of how dark I want it to be. This is one of those cards, if you're going to make a bunch of them, you would stamp out the images and then one night, like while watching a TV show, you would color them all in. This is not a card you want to do in a rush. But it is relaxing and is kind of fun. If you're someone who's not too fond of trying to figure out lighting and shadows, just know that all the dark parts is basically the parts where you want to color. And all the lighter parts, that's basically where the light's hitting. So that's the color, whatever color light you're going to be using, that's where you're going to end up putting the color of the light. So now I'm going to switch from the red to a yellow. And to do that, I'm just going to get rid of the red off of this blender pen until it comes off clean. That's pretty much clean. There we go. And now I'm going to dip into my yellow. I'm using the darker yellow. Kind of want a little bit of a glow to go on. I'm going to go in with the lighter yellow. just because, you know, it should have a glow. So, got that going on. Now I'm just going to bounce over to the green and hit the bottom a little bit. There we go. Clean off my brush. How we doing, everybody? I know Mom's done a raccoon. I'm just going to glue him to that black we did a while ago. I'm going to put that aside for now. If everybody's good, go ahead and let me know in the chat. We're going to go to the next step. So for the next part, you're going to need your sentiment. If you don't have the pastels, that's okay. You could just stamp it and emboss it. There's different things that you can do, but I'm going to show you this technique so that if you ever get the pastels, you can try it out in the future. Or if you have the pastels, you can try it out now. Or you could always go back to the video and watch it again. It'll be up in the Twitch. Now that I figured out how to do it better. And it'll also be on YouTube. On that one there, I had Enjoy Today. Excuse me, I yawned. This one here, maybe I'll go with Explore. Let's see how big it is. That one's fairly small. Okay, we're going to go with the Enjoy Today still. Okay, for this one here, you're going to need your Versamark. Okay. So let's go ahead and grab that. For those who don't know, Versamark is what you use to, it's basically a type of adhesive for powders for use for embossing. It could also work as a watercolor mark. Today, we're going to use it to make pastel colors stick. So, I'm going to take my Versamark ink, tap it lightly. You'll know that the Versamark is on there because your stamp will look wet. See that? So I'm just going to do that a little bit more. It's nice and wet. Going to get a nice up and down motion, no rocking. Okay. There we go. And then you're going to take whatever color you want. This time here, I'll still use the same blue. Just going to take this out. And I'm going to make a chalky mess on some scrap paper here. Okay? Just like that. I'm going to take the powder with my brush. Just like that, so that there's powder on the brush. And I'm going to go over the Versamark before it dries. Okay? So basically you want the powder from the pastel. And that's what you're putting over the Versamark. And because the Versamark is there, it's picking up the powder of the pastel. Now, would this work with chalk? I'm not too sure. It'd be great if someone tried it and let me know. I don't see why not, because the Versamark picks it up. Okay. So I'm just going to tap it off, and this is what you end up with. It's a nice cloudy blue, and there's like, you know, different tones of blue to it. Look how nice that looks. Okay. So that's all it was. I made a bit of dust on the paper, picked it up with my brush, and put it over the Versamark. Right? It's pretty cool. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. Okay, I'm just going to put this aside here. I keep all my scrap paper to use in the future, so. Okay. Just going to close my Versamark. Just don't want it getting dirty. Put that aside. Put my paintbrush aside. And this is the part why I said scrap whites and scrap black, because I wouldn't be able to tell what size anyone's sentiments are. So this is where I'm going to measure my own sentiment and put it on. So let's say 2 inches. We will do 2 and a bit. 2 and a bit works. Let's bring it back down. How big are you? This is the figuring out part. Trim off a little bit. Trim off a little bit. Maybe even a little bit more. Gotta love them scraps. So we're gonna go this is 2 inches, so we're gonna go 2 and a bit. 2 and a bit. That's how we measure stuff around here. 2 and a bit. And then oh yeah. I was gonna glue that there. Okay. That's fancy measurements right there, 2 and a bit. Okay. Let's get rid of this stuff. So, for this part here, we're going to just glue our lantern. Just like this. And this guy, we're going to take some dimensionals. We're going to pop them up on some dimensionals. Give it a facelift. Put it right here. And the absolute very last thing I want to do is I want to give it a bit of bling. So I'm going to take these, I have these brush metallic adhesive dots. I'm going to put these on there. You can use jewels if you want. Anything. I'm using my take a pick tool. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you like it. And I'm going to grab some of the smaller guys here. Stick that in the corner. Just like that. If you'd like to put a piece of white cardstock inside the card, the measurement for that would be 4 inches by 5 1/4. That would give you a purple border around your white insert to be able to have somewhere to write. I never put one in until the very last moment when I'm actually handing these cards out to someone. But there we have it. There. Center those. I'm going to clean my stamp set here. So again, that was using the Campology stamp set. That's in the large, the annual catalog. We use some Stampin' Up! Brushes, blending brushes. We used the soft pastel assortment. This too is in the large catalog. They'll last forever. What did you put the dimensionals on? The dimensionals I put behind the sentiment. I'm reading out the chat for Twitch because it's not syncing with YouTube. So I'm making sure to just read those out so that in future videos people will know what the questions were. Know that I wasn't crazy and talking to myself. I'll try and adjust the settings for this Twitch channel before the next stream. We also use the blender pans. That comes in a set of 3. We use the Memento Black ink. That's basically the only black I use now. We used our blocks. We used the Big Shot with the Stitch rectangle dies. And we used some of these, the polka dots there. And we also used a white gel pen. Gorgeous Grape, ink, Melon Mambo, and Mango Melody. And then, of course, the Versamark for the sentiment. Is there any questions about this card? Now keep in mind, you can do this card with any colors. I try and make, when I'm doing sceneries, I try to make the cardstock, the same color, or at least as close to, as the top part of the sky. I don't know why. I just always found it caught the eye better that way. If I went yellow, it would have been too much. If I went pink, it would have distracted. So I always go with the color that ends up at the top of any kind of background that I'm doing like this. If it's like ombre. That's my little tidbit of info for help. I'm just going to leave those there for a few minutes while I pick up my office a bit so that you guys could see the cards. While I'm picking up, you guys can finish up, and then we'll be going over back to the chat where you can ask me any of your questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. And I'm dropping stuff. Yeah, we're doing just the one card. It's easier for everybody to follow along. It takes less time to prepare. And doing 2 cards a month, this way here I could do at least 2 streams. At least. And not have to worry about doing 2 cards a stream, because that'd be 4 cards a month. And I wish I had the time to do that. I just don't. So we're going to bring it down to 1 card a stream. Next stream, which should be next week. Is it next week? Before the end of October anyways. We're going to be doing this card next. How pretty is that? So if for this one here, for this card here that we're going to be doing next stream, for this guy here, we are going to be using the Welcoming Woods dies. Stamp. And the what is it called here? The Intricate Leaves dies for the leaves. We'll also be using a 3D embossing folder. It's the wood stamp one, the bark one. It's in the mini catalog. It's like a wood grainy type thing. So we'll be using that. So that's the next one we'll be making. But see, on this one, the orange I used at the bottom, but I didn't make the main cardstock orange. I did the highlights of the card in orange, if that makes sense. How's everybody doing? Sylvia, Jeanne, are you guys all caught up? Yeah, so next stream we'll be doing this one. I will be putting up a date for that along with the supplies. Remember, tomorrow I am going to be putting through a Stampin' Up! Order. If you're someone who is out of my area, if you're not local to me, you can order from my website online, which is crystalstamp.stampinup.net. I also believe there is a link down below in my Twitch. If you scroll down, it'll bring you to my my website. Let me check that. Yeah, it's listed under my shop. You can order from there if you're interested in any of these products. But for my local clients, they can order through me directly. It comes to my house and I prepare the orders for them. But you can still order online if you're interested in any of these products. They're available in Canada and the States for sure. I'm going to turn off some lights and I'm going to head over to my desk. You're going to see the Be Right Back screen. I'll be back in about 2 minutes. Okay, there we are. Yeah, sec. Grab my water. Can't hear me. Keep forgetting to move this microphone. I gotta move it. Keep forgetting. One sec here. There we go. How's that? Okay, so yeah, we did the camp one. That one's fun. No focus. There we go. This is the one we just did. So I have 2. If you did 2, cool. The next one, like I said, is going to be this guy. Right? I have pictures up of them. I think this one's on Instagram. I have to... Let me double check. I mean, it should be. I usually post them there too, but I tend to forget sometimes. They are for sure up on my Facebook group. Let me double check here. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, they turned out really nice. I really like that card. It's cute. It's like a every occasion card, or all occasion. So, okay, so I don't have this one up on my Instagram yet. But that's our next one. It keeps blurring out right here. Is there any questions about this card we just did or the next one we're going to be doing? The next one, the one with the leaves here, this guy, we're going to be doing the week of the 25th. I'm going to try and stagger it to like have a stream every 2 weeks. It makes it a bit easier for me to organize, and it gives me time to get supplies together. I just noticed none of my alerts or nothing are working too. Everything is a reset on this channel. Dang it. Next time we come to this channel, everything might look a little different. You're not available the 26th and the 28th. When was I going to do it? I think I was going to do it the 27th or the 29th, which is Wednesday and Friday. Oh, nice. I'll be posting it up for sure though. And remember, if you can't make the class, cool. I like doing the class when I know I'm going to have for sure at least 2 viewers. But I do repost these videos to both my Twitch and my YouTube channel. If you happen to watch it on YouTube, please hit the little like button just so that I know people are watching it there too. It lets me know that, you know, people are seeing it and they're going back to it. And also in, I don't know if you can in the Twitch one, but in the YouTube one, if you have any questions or you would have like some requests for certain different types of cards, leave a request in the comments and I'll put it in my to-do list as something to look into for future classes and future videos. Any questions? If not, that's cool, but I'm here for questions. I can't believe none of my alerts or nothing are working. Really gonna have to fix this channel up again. I'll probably change the entire layout. Yeah. And I was like, oh crap, am I even recording? I'm recording. It's fine. And for those in my Facebook group, I'll repost this link up to Facebook so that you can go back and rewatch it. we got no questions, I'm going to end it. I want to thank all the people who participated in coming to the class. Even if you weren't making a card, you were just hanging out with us. Cool. Thanks. For those who did make a card, take a picture. Throw it up in the Facebook group. We want to see it. I know Sylvia always says, I gotta take a picture and put it up. And she does it. Jan, I know this is your first time like coming to a stream, I believe. Thanks for coming. Willow says hi. Hi, Willow. And bye-bye, love. See you next time. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next time. Keep an eye out for my next stream video. Hope y'all had fun. And I hope you enjoyed this card. That's it for today. Bye.